Hey everyone, my name is Matthew Richardson, and this is my argument for why genetically modified foods are safe to eat. So, do GMOs, genetically modified foods, pose a health risk? Well, different studies by numerous organizations found that GMOs are no more dangerous than normal foods. A study by Cornell University found, and this is a quote from the study, found that no substantiated evidence that foods from genetically engineered crops were less safe than foods from non-genetically engineered crops. There's a study by the NCBI stated that all foods that were GMO were regarded as GRAS, which is generally rated as safe. Also, this final organization here is the National Academies of Science, Engineering, and Medicine. Also found that there was no substantial link between the foods being less safe, but these three studies as well also found that there was no specific link between genetically modified foods, cancer, obesity, autism, celiac disease, and diabetes, and non-GMO foods. So they're no more likely than normal food to cause anything to go wrong in the human body. So this is a quote by Wangari Maathai, who has a master's degree in biology and who was an environmentalist and human rights activist in Nigeria. She says, as a scientist, I cannot say we do not want to hear anything about GMOs because these are advances in science. But I think it's also important, especially when you are dealing with food, to be cautious. So there's absolutely no problem when dealing with genetically modified foods to be cautious and to be wary, because they are something that is generally newer. But we do not want this overly cautiousness to get in the way of advances in science and the advances that can help benefit us as a society, especially since all the studies and all the scientific evidence currently does not support a substantial link to any problem between genetically modified foods and anything such as was previously recognized as cancer, obesity, autism, or diabetes. So, and then here's a study by Harvard that found that researchers across the world had found that there's no relationship between genetically modified foods and mutations. Fertility and pregnancy and offspring are unaffected by GMOs. Organ health and function was unaffected by GMOs, and no evidence or gene transfer between GMOs and the consumer. So the food itself, the alterations that we put in GMOs is not going to alter you. Finally, what are the benefits? We hear all this fear-mongering of what genetically modified foods can cause, but what are the benefits? Well, here are a lot of the benefits. Conventional, there's no specific benefits over what we normally have. Whereas genetically modified benefits require less pesticide, can produce more calories to feed more people, produce a higher yield, and can increase farmer income. So, they create plants that are better resistant, bigger yields that create a more efficient use of the land. Foods can possibly have better textures, flavors, or nutritional values. Foods with longer shelf lives. And genetically modified foods can create a possible essential, sustainable way to feed the world. And according to the Food and Agriculture Organization of the UN, says that farmers would be able to grow more food on less land with genetically modified crops. So, do the benefits outweigh the risks of potential use of genetically modified? So, given the constant benefits and there's no scientific proof that pose a risk to humans, the benefits certainly outweigh the risk. So, do you see a difference in these two pictures of genetically modified corn and the non-genetically modified corn? Neither can science. Thank you.